to get past this hurdle for the first time in close to a decade, and then you have a team that's trying to get past this hurdle for the first time in their history. It's going to make for a really, really fun Monday night.
I mean, it's very exciting, and obviously this is a big goal of ours, but we're treating this game just like we've been treating all of them all year long.
Back then, Holy Family was a powerhouse, and I think we're trying to rebuild that, obviously, putting some respect on our name, and we could be the first ones to win the regional championship, and that'd be pretty cool.
It's just being about the stronger player in this situation, mentally, physically.
In Waltham, Massachusetts, for tonight's Division II East Regional Championship game. It's top seed Bentley against number 3 seed Holy Family. Alongside my broadcast partner Mason Stalf and our sideline reporter Tim McCaffrey, I'm Steven Zerdelian. Well, in early November, 3 conferences, 32 teams in this region started the year with one goal in mind: to play tonight. And tonight, it's Bentley and Holy Family. They've certainly earned their way here. You can see the bracket in front of you. Mason, all indications say this should be a terrific game tonight.
It absolutely should. It's a good thing for Bentley. They finally don't have to face another NE10 team. Holy Family, despite being the 3 seed, they were by far the best team in the lower half of the bracket that you see on your screens. It should be a very balanced game. Teams with a lot of depth, 2 outstandingly coached teams, and a lot of history on the line as well.
Bentley comes in 32-1. And boasting a 28-game winning streak, the longest current winning streak in Division II. Holy Family, meanwhile, at 26-6. They won the CACC title last weekend. Bentley won the Northeast 10 Conference title last weekend. So not only do we have 2 teams playing well, we have 2 conference champions facing off with each other. They faced each other twice in the past in the NCAA tournament, including a regional final. All the elements are here for the historic elements when you look back at the game and then you try to look forward. Bentley looking for their 15th regional title. Holy Family has never won one. There's just so many points of interest in this game.
Yeah, as the foremost authority on the history of this East region, you know just how much history's happened in this building, how much history there is between these teams. There's history this season. They played right around Christmas time, and it was a 5-point game. We would love to have something very similar, tight, balanced, a lot of depth scoring, but also some superstars that may rise to the forefront. Will Kylie Ducharme continue to have one of the greatest regionals we've ever seen? Will Maggie Whitmore break out of her funk? And on Holy Family side, will they continue to show the balanced attack? Can they offensive rebound? Can they push the pace? Can they hit threes like they did against Damon and get that first ever crown? This is a team that has a lot of history, but what they don't have is a regional title. That all can change tonight. It's going to be a really fun couple of hours.
Bentley's path here, a victory over New Haven, 65-39. And then a much closer game in the second round, 60-55 over St. Anselm. We anticipated a close game there. It was a terrific basketball game. And as you mentioned, Kylie Ducharme, 25 points in each game was amazing. Holy Family with wins over Assumption and Damon, the last 2 regional champions, by the way. They knocked them off to earn their place here. Let's bring in the 3rd member of our broadcast team right now, Tim McCaffrey on the baseline. Hi, Tim.
Well, I don't know if they're still talking. No, the conversation broke up, but C. White, the head coach of Bentley, and Bern Lakaitis, the head coach of Holy Family, were just exchanging some pleasantries. And when you think about this game, guys, it's all about defense. Holy Family, 25th in the nation in fewest points allowed per game. Bentley, 4th. But think about Holy Family's run here. In the first game, they defeated Assumption. 2 years ago, they cut down the Nets, did the Greyhounds. In game number 2, they defeated the defending regional champion, Damon Wildcats. Steve, I know you're a big 80s wrestling fan. How about a little bit of, to be the man, you've got to beat the man, and what better way to do it to win your first regional championship for Holy Family than to do it against the perennial regional power in the Bentley Falcons.
I'm not sure we could start the broadcast with anything better than a Ric Flair reference. God bless you, Tim. Thanks for that one. He did mention the two head coaches, Bernadette Lockaitis for Holy Family, C. White for Bentley. It's no coincidence. They are alums of the schools that they are coaching at now. They bring history, they bring gravitas, and what they also bring is connective tissue with their alumni bases. I'm not sure, Mason, I've ever seen two programs at this level that not only hold their alumni in such great regard, but they encourage them to come back to the institution, work with the players, be close to them on a one-on-one basis than Holy Family and Bentley.
Look, at the Division II level, it's not always about what's the next great thing you're going to do in your career. Sometimes you're just happy where you are. Why do you think Barbara Stevens' name is up in the rafters here? Because there were opportunities for her to go somewhere bigger. I'm not going to say better, but certainly bigger. But she stayed here because she knew what Bentley meant, and she knew what this team and this community meant. And it's no different at Holy Family with Coach Lockaitis. You saw in the opening reel that 2007-2008 CACC championship team. You saw Coach Lockaitis there in that photo. Philadelphia is a wonderful place to raise a family, to be a coach, to recruit. And these two coaches, they have teams and they have communities around them in the stands tonight. Why would you want to be anywhere else?
I'm not sure you would. Man, Barbara Stevens, the mentor of C. White, of course, and Hall of Famer, is here in attendance today, and we have to recognize the head coach at Holy Family who built the program, which was Mike McLaughlin, and Bernadette Lockaitis was an assistant for a decade under Mike McLaughlin at Penn. And so, again, we're talking about the threads that go through each one of these programs. It's a special thing, and it really brings context to the basketball part of this.
It's such a wonderful community, and obviously the game is changing. The NCAA changes before our eyes, it feels like every second. But ultimately, these moments are precious. These players truly understand the magnitude of the moment, and now it's time to see who's going to take that moment, seize it, and have their glory.
Time for the national anthem. You're watching the NCAA tournament on Flow Sports. Well, we've got a nice crowd filling in here at the Dana Center on this St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all. So we've talked about some of the scene setters and the context. Let's start talking about the basketball game itself, Mason. What are some of the things that stand out to you that will make the difference in this game over the course of a 40-minute contest?
Well, we'll start with the number one team in the region and top three team in the country in Bentley. They did not have their best game against St. Anselm, particularly Maggie Whitmore. You will never, probably ever, see an 0 for 10 game from Maggie Whitmore, and yet that's what we saw. 0 for 10 from the field, 0 for 7 from 3. She did hit 2 clutch free throws to ice the game, was 4 for 4 from the line. But is it a Maggie Whitmore Monday? Kylie DeShorm has been outstanding, but ultimately the captain and the leader out on the floor has to be Maggie Whitmore. Can she step up? On the other side for Holy Family, the way that they defeated Damon was with three-point shooting, but bench depth, 25-4 off the bench. Bentley did get 11 bench points the other night, but can Holy Family really force the action, show their depth? Damon ultimately couldn't stick with it with just the starting 5, and Holy Family did a good job of really forcing Damon to use their bench in situations they didn't want to, drawing fouls. We saw Bentley do something similar. St. Anselm got in foul trouble with Tatum Forbes as well as Mel Hoyt having some foul trouble 2 nights ago. So the foul situation and the depth scoring could certainly be something that decides this game, as well as just the players that you see there. Maggie Whitmore, can she have another game? Kylie Ducharme is going to be asked to do a lot, but for me, it has to come down to Whitmore. And for Holy Family, can you have another game where Hinkle, Searfoss, Carter, Meredith, they all scored in double figures, and you shot as a team 10 of 21 from 3 and 14 of 19 from the line? Those are the efficiency numbers you're going to need to have to knock off Bentley on their home floor.
These two teams have played each other this season. On December 20th, Bentley went to the Campus Center at Holy Family in Northeast Philadelphia. And in a game that had 8 ties and 8 lead changes, they ended up winning 62-57. But they didn't lead for good until a Brooke Obar 3 with 14 seconds to go put them ahead by 2. Nia Morgan then chipped in with 2 steals and 3 free throws to lock it up. But it was that close, and we would figure it would be that close again. The last time they played here on this floor was last season, and Holy Family won that game 53-43. Another tight game that went back and forth. As we take a look at Hall of Famer Barbara Stevens, trying to blend into the crowd. That doesn't work.
Not here.
No. That game that Holy Family won here at the Dana Center last season was the first time they've actually beaten Bentley in this building in 9 tries. So they're familiar with each other enough that the players know each other. It's not a complete blank slate when they look across each other at the tip and say, well, I know what you look like on a scouting report. What do you look like? What do you like in person? They have that history just a couple of months ago and last year.
And ultimately, that familiarity, they're going to be more focused on what happened in this tournament, most likely in terms of the film, rather than going back to December. But ultimately, you do have that familiarity, and it's the Division II East region. Everyone knows everyone when you get to this stage. You know, there's plenty of familiarity between coaches Lakaitis and White as well. We saw them talking before the game. But right now, it's how you start the game really matters in a regional championship, because it's like a conference championship or a winner, any type of winner-take-all game. Somebody is probably going to come out a little bit nervy. Can one team put their pedal to the metal a little bit, maybe get up by 8, 10, 12 points, and see if the other team has the capability to respond? We know Bentley has started strong, but then kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit in games 1 and 2. Holy Family got off to a slow start against Damon, but from the second quarter onward, they were by far the best team on the floor. Starting strong is going to be critical in this one.
It's an important day across the country in Division II. This is essentially the Sweet 16. There are 8 regional finals all going on today. 7 of the 8 1 seeds are playing tonight. So high stakes all across the country this evening, and there are actually 4 games starting simultaneously at 7 p.m. Eastern. And maybe if we want, we'll dig in and talk about some of those and get some scores. But our focus really is here on this Bentley Holy Family game.
Yeah, we know we will have a new national champion, Minnesota State, falling in the last round, so somebody's going to take them off their perch, and Bentley wants that second title. You have that undefeated national championship from 2014 under Coach Stevens. Now it's C. White's turn, trying to get her first regional championship. It is crazy to think, as great as Bentley has been year over year, they have not won a regional title since 2016, and for Holy Family, all that history has stopped here when they've tried to get past it. There is someone that's going to break through a hurdle tonight that they've been waiting to get through for a long time.
Let's send it to public address announcer Jefferson Mills for tonight's starting lineups.
Holy Family University Tigers taking on the number 1 seeded Bentley University Falcons. And now let's meet the starting lineups for the Tigers and the Falcons. Starting at guard, a 5'10 junior from Chalfont, Pennsylvania, number 10, Taylor Hinkle. At guard, a 5'5 junior from Marion, Massachusetts, number 3, Cassidy Yeomans. At center, a 6'1 fifth year from Belmead, New Jersey, number 20, Carolyn Bravo. At guard, a 5'8 senior from Portland, Maine, number 5, Amanda Cabantu. Head guard, a 5'8" junior from Jim. Head guard, a 5'8" graduate student from North Yarmouth, Maine, number 13, Brooke Obar. Head guard, a 5'7" junior from Watervliet, New York, number 23, Kayla Carter. At forward, a 6-foot senior from Wilmington, Massachusetts, number 15, Kylie Duchar. At guard, a 5'9" senior from Marlboro, New Jersey, number 42, Jessica Repeat. At forward, a 6-foot graduate student from South Portland, Maine, number 25, Maggie Whitmore. And now let's introduce you to tonight's head coaches.
Got a shot of the head coaches exchanging a pregame hug. C. White, who won her 100th game as a head coach in the regional semifinals. Bernadette Laukaitis has won 99 games as the Holy Family head coach. As we take a look at the starting fives for these two teams. Talking is over, Mason. It's time to actually play basketball. We've been looking forward to this game now for almost 48 hours.
Yeah, that extra day of rest would have been nice for the coaches, would have been nice for the players. But at the same time, when you're coming off of a huge win in the semifinals, someone like Kylie Ducharme, who had another one of her best games of her career, she's done it back-to-back, you just want to get out there at some point. You probably would have loved if this game somehow found a way to start at noon, because this whole day just drags on and on. When do we get to go out there? When do we get to actually play basketball and do what we've been looking to do all year long? Well, now the moment is here. And it's going to be an opportunity for one of these teams, but one or two of these players in particular, to really write their names in the laurels of D2 history.
It's an honor for the officials to be here as well. They've earned their way to the spot, and our officials today are Sean Jones, Caitlin Adams, and Jessica Smith, with Mike Mata as the alternate. Bentley in the home whites, Holy Family in the road blacks. Our East Regional Final is underway. Obar defended by Repeat. Falcons operate best when there's good spacing at the offensive end of the floor. Ducharme gets her first touch. Sabantu, pull up mid-range, got it, and the Falcons break the ice.
And that has to feel so good for the Falcons. You see that first one go down. It doesn't just help Cabantu. Everybody else suddenly takes a deep exhale and say, all right, here we go.
Cabantu led Bentley in scoring that win over Holy Family earlier this season with 15 points.
She's a driver, does a lot of good things off the dribble.
Speaking of drivers, there's Skylar Searfoss, who gets Holy Family on the board.
And we talked about Searfoss on Saturday as well, a player that does so many little things for this Holy Family squad.
Cassidy Omens gets a good look but misses the drive. That was Carolyn Prado, who hasn't had a great regional herself, although she did score 1,000 career points in their opening day win over Assumption. Repeat looks to work on Obar. Now Searfoss tries to go baseline, misses the shot, and the shot clock is going to expire with the ball on the floor.
Well, Bentley did not have their best game against St. Anselm, but they did not turn the basketball over, and that certainly helped their cause in that 5-point win. Just 6 turnovers for the game. They were plus 13 in points off turnovers, 17-4. Holy Family did induce 15 turnovers against Damon, but they also coughed the ball up 15 times. Always watch the turnover margin in a game of this magnitude.
Cabantu pulls the trigger on a 3 that's short. And it goes out of bounds untouched. Both teams outstanding at the defensive end of the floor. Bentley concedes less than 51 points a game. Teams shoot 36% against them. It's about the same that Holy Family concedes in terms of field goal percentage. They hold teams to just over 56 points a game.
Well, it helps because Ducharme and Whitmore can really play defense against any position.
Hinkle for 3 straight away, and she hits it. She's double-doubled twice against Bentley in their last 2 outings. And off to a nice start to give the Tigers their first lead. And our first foul of the game is on Jessica Reapy for bumping Cassidy Yeomans.
You see Hinkle, as this is the replay of the bump, and it's an easy call. But the difference in both games, not necessarily a huge volume of threes for Holy Family, but their percentages have been outstanding in the 2 regional games.
Here's Yeomans working on Searfoss. Gets stuck in the lane. Gets rid of it to Whitmore. A sweet backdoor cut, but Cabantu had a tight angle and couldn't squeeze it up over the rim.
Outstanding dish. Those are the ones you need to have. You look back on any missed layups at the end of a game.
There's Searfoss probing. Prevost backs down Ducharme, and it's a charge on Carolyn Prevost.
You also know, because of the orientation of this Dana Center court, all of the students and all of the Bentley diehards are right behind that basket. So you get the defense in the first half, and a charge like that really amps them up, and then you get the offense going that way in the second half. So let's see how that impacts Bentley as they move down toward that end of the floor in each half.
Falcons went 17-1 at home this season. Holy Family away from their home court, 16-3.
No shots for Ducharme or Whitmore in the first 3 minutes.
Here's Cabantu, works off a screen to the lane, and she's got all 4 Bentley points.
Well, there's that spread offense. The posts up at the high elbow. Whitmore sets a nice screen in Cabantu. If she gets that first step on you, you're not catching her.
Cabantu averages 11 a game. Here's Hinkle on the move. Nice touch by Taylor Hinkle. She's got 5. Tigers back up by 3.
There's a Holy Family team that likes to spread the wealth offensively. Hinkle is the only player averaging double figures on the season and off to a strong start.
Whitmore lost her balance on the drive and turned it over. Searfoss with that hesitation dribble. Now pulls it back out. Nia Morgan at the scorer's table for Bentley to be the first substitute of the game. Here's Reapy. Gets free for 3. That's what she does best, and buries it. A couple of threes here for Holy Family, and the Tigers are off to a nice start here on top 10-4.
4 for 5, 2 of 2 from deep. That is the dream start. No fear.
Now Reapy just picked up her second foul. Lost Morgan's cut in the game, as well as Kara Meredith and Lola Ibarrando for Holy Family.
But that's one of the weapons that Holy Family has, is their depth. They had 8 players play at least 15 minutes the other night, and every single player that touched the court, all 9 of them, scored.
Cabantu, Bentley's only scorer today with the ball. Defended tightly by Carter.
She's taken 4 of the first 5 shots, Cabantu.
Here's Whitmore, launches the 3. Back iron, and Hinkle clears it.
She's got to see one go through the net early in this game.
There's Ibarrando, who had 7 points and 7 rebounds in the opening win against Assumption. Goes to the cup, flips it up. Can't get it down. There's Ducharme. Falcons look for some transition. Yeomans pulls up, right wing for 3. Nope. And a fight for the rebound. It's a held ball with the arrow favoring the Tigers.
I like that Bentley trying to push the pace. Yeomans certainly has the pull-up 3 in her bag.
Bentley a 37% three-point shooting team this season. Not yet connecting on any here.
And in comes the nation's leader in three-point percentage. A couple minutes ago, Nia Morgan just shy of 50%. She was at 50% before Saturday's game.
Julia Eli into the game for Bentley. She defends Prevost, who does a nice job getting a drop step for 2. And Tigers stretch the lead to 12-4.
Well, Holy Family has gotten everything they've wanted.
Ducharme gets free inside. Hinkle doesn't challenge, and she's got her first 2.
It's a good counter from the Falcons, but something about this Bentley defense has to disrupt Holy Family. They're getting open looks from 3, good post moves inside. Nothing has been hard.
4 different scores for the Tigers.
That's what they do.
That's exactly what they've done all season long.
Hinkle will lead you, but it's a team effort for the Tigers.
Ibarrondo lost it momentarily. Cross court for Hinkle, shot clock at 2. Sees it, and it's rejected by Ducharme out of bounds.
Well, that's the first time that Holy Family looked disjointed on the offensive end. A lot of dribbling from Ibarrondo. And Ducharme, she's been an offensive wizard in this tournament. But don't forget about the defense. We talk about forwards being to guard anywhere on the floor. That's gorgeous.
Timeout on the floor. Back in a minute. You're watching the NCAA tournament on Flow Sports. Holy Family wanted Taylor Hinkle with 5 of their 12 points, including this 3.
Now Whitmore is there, but look at her kind of sag off just a little bit, and that's all the space Hinkle needs to bury another one. 2 triples in the early going for the Tigers.
Let's bring in Tim McCaffrey.
These fans behind me, they are the key to the Falcons winning this game. Down by 6 right now. If they're quiet, not in it, that gives Holy Family advantage. Will they make noise? Right now, the answer's no. But maybe later they'll make some noise. Back to you guys.
Tim, you're an inspiration for us all. Just get out of there in one piece, if you will. Well, let's see what the Falcons do as they have possession out of the timeout. Holy Family throwing a defensive wrinkle at them, going zone on this trip.
Let's see if you can get something toward the corners, short corners, and in toward the foul line. That's how you beat this zone, unless you can hit threes.
Cabantu gets a good look, but it rolls out, and here comes Hinkle on the hard push the other way.
I still don't necessarily know if Cabantu shooting the 5 of Bentley's first 9 shots is exactly the percentage they're looking for.
Second chance for Holy Family as Meredith misses a 3. She gets it back in the post. There's Ibarrondo. Morgan stays in front of her nicely. Now Hinkle with the shot clock at 5. Wants a screen, gets it, poked away by Yeomans. She's got a step on Carter, goes to the cup, misses it. And it's Hinkle tracking back, grabbing the rebound.
Yeomans was so focused on the contact that she didn't realize where she was on the floor and got in too deep, and then tried to fall back. Really tough shot that didn't need to be tough.
Holy Family has a 7-1 edge in rebounding right now. Ibarrondo misses inside.
Well, when you don't miss a lot of shots, there's not a lot of rebounds to be had.
Fair enough. Ducharme steps into a 3. It's wide right. Ball bounces around, and Meredith gets to it first. Bentley now 0 for 4 from long distance.
It's the first quarter, and you still have 3 minutes to go in second quarter. You do not need to press and do things that you're not looking to do. Yeoman's a transition 3, that's one thing, but Ducharme, that's really not a transition 3. Kind of steps over midcourt and is already looking to launch. Now, we know what she's done in this tournament, so who am I to judge? But still, I don't think that's the offense that C. White wants to run.
Bentley's first foul called on Maggie Whitmore. Carter's corner 3 is too strong. She shot well from long distance in this tournament, 7 of 11 in the first 2 games.
And the Bentley defense has completely changed.
Ducharme fakes the 3 on the move, lots of contact, but Melangio grabs the rebound.
But credit to Ducharme, didn't necessarily look at the official or say anything, just got back into her defensive spot.
Hinkle step back is short. And Whitmore baseline rebound. Yeoman's quick up court for Obar. Skips it all the way to the other side for Morgan for the 3. And Bentley still can't find the mark from long distance.
But it's still the right play by Obar to find a high percentage look in Morgan in rhythm.
Cassidy Yeoman's call for the foul. And we're going to get a first look this weekend at Sierra Norman for Bentley. The junior forward has been struggling with an ankle injury, but gets an opportunity here. Let's see how she affects the game with her first action in about a week and a half.
Physicality, rebounding. Sierra Norman brings a lot of energy.
Slipping free inside is Hinkle, and she's got 7. Largest lead of the game. At least it matches the largest lead of the game for Holy Family, up 8. Norman immediately gets in the lead and scores.
See about that physicality? Gets it in one-on-one, uses the shoulder, little bit of a bump off, and finishes with a really nice post move.
90 seconds to go in the first quarter. Colangio, one of the bench mob for Holy Family, that was so effective against Damon. Same for Meredith. Carter in the post. Sierfoss, short baseline jumper is all net.
You can see Yeomans was a little bit lost. That's not where she would normally be defending, as the smallest player out on the floor. Down in the post, Sierfoss getting her away from where she's comfortable. Hinkle's doing an absolutely remarkable job on Whitmore.
Another Bentley missed 3 as Morgan can't connect.
0 for 7.
Just 8 points for the Falcons in this quarter. Talked about that first punch. Who's going to open that first lead? Well, it's been the Tigers. Sierfoss doubled, loses it. Morgan picks it up. Tigers back quickly, so no transition for Bentley.
See if we can get Morgan and Whitmore involved in a screen and roll. Otherwise, I'm going right back into the inside seal for Norman. Yep, here's the screen and roll.
Morgan waving over across.
Too long.
Inside it goes to Norman, gets in tight on Palangio, missed the first try, and a jump ball. Keep the ball here with 7 seconds remaining.
Oh, it's a good post entry, still a little bit too deep. We've seen Yeomans get too deep on a fast break. That time it was Norman. It's the right post move, but she just got underneath the padding. 7 seconds, that's plenty of time.
Stay where we are. Don't need to reset a shot clock because it's off already.
It's a big out-of-bounds play for C. White's squad. Get the last positive action going into the second quarter. You'll feel a lot better. Same thing. If Holy Family gets a stop, it's going to be a very lively bench off to our left. It should be 6.7, not 0.7.
And they put 7 even on the clock.
All right, so nothing came off the clock, which can't happen on a kick, but whatever.
Ducharme goes into the backcourt to get it, which is okay. Now Bentley has to get it going quickly. Morgan works. So the Bentley crowd is alive as Nia Morgan makes Bentley's first 3 of the game. That pulls the Falcons top seed to within 5 at the end of the quarter. Back in a minute. You're watching the NCAA tournament on Flow Sports. As we take a look at the closing action of the first quarter, Nia Morgan's 3 for Bentley. Let's see what Tim McCaffrey has for us behind the Bentley bench.
The Bentley bench, but Mason, you were just talking about why no time came off the clock. Well, that's because on a kickball violation in which the clock is not already running, it is an illegal act. And by rule, no time comes off the clock. If it was just a touched ball out of bounds, we would have seen at least 0.3 seconds come off the clock. But because of the illegal act, The clock remains the same, and potentially that extra 0.3 seconds allowed Bentley to get off that three-point bucket. Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Tim. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and there were 2.2 on the clock when she released it. In fact, when that ball went through the bucket, still had about a half a second, which obviously the clock runs in the first quarter on a made basket. So an outstanding finish, and now the crowd's into it. Morgan's into it. Her teammates feel a little bit of life, and look, you couldn't hit the broadside of the bar and you're down 5. The defense stepped up, and now you get to play a little bit more Bentley basketball, you hope.
Holy Family shot 50% in the first quarter. Bentley just under 30%. Tigers won the rebounding battle 12-5. Ducharme inside is going to get the first free throws of the game.
And Whitmore comes out to start this second quarter. This is probably the quickest team that you're going to have. You have Obar and Morgan in the backcourt. Kabantu, we know what she can do as a slasher. Ducharme can do so many things with her footwork and speed. And it's so just great to have Sierra Norman back in there. She made an immediate impact. So just the presence of Norman means Whitmore can get a little bit of a breather in that front court. You have Eli, but she only played for about a minute, if that, in the first quarter. Bench gets a little slimmer in a championship game, and certainly the margin for error gets much more slim as well.
1 for 2 for Ducharme, who's an 82% foul shooter. Hinkle with game-high 7 points in the first period. Gets 2 more on a nice drive to the hoop. She's been outstanding so far today.
Look, we talk about depth scoring and spreading the wealth. At the end of the day, your best
From the left for 2, she's got 6.
Look, if it's Diana Taurasi, if it's LeBron James, if it's Stephen Curry, and it's game 7, you go to your best player. Doesn't matter who it is, you go to your best player in the biggest moments.
Lost the handle, gets a good look from the elbow, but can't knock it down. Now Morgan looks up for it. Here's Kabantu. Again, Tigers retreat quickly. Norman puts the ball to the deck, not normally what she does particularly well, and misses.
Tried to use that physicality, the officials, as they should in a championship game, allowing the physicality to happen. You do not want a ticky-tack call in a championship.
Pelangio slips free from Norman, who went for the steal, and never really recovered.
Norman was also a little bit late, stumbled as she went down on this end, and it allowed mismatches 5-on-4 on the other end.
Kabantu again with that hesitation dribble. Can't finish it. Ball squirts free off Norman and out of bounds.
And you see that slashing ability, but again, she tries to go back to that right hand, and it's almost impossible when you're going on the left-hand side of the basket with your right hand. Players love to spin the basketball. You can't really spin the ball with your right hand on the left side of the hoop. That's not how it's going to work. And so she couldn't get any English on that ball underneath the hoop.
Bentley putting some pressure on up court as the Tigers put it in bounds. Freshman Amy No into the game for the first time. Brings it up the floor. And now Pelangio turns and faces. Prevo at 4 first quarter rebounds. Wheels around Whitmore for an easy 2.
Too easy. Now Whitmore does not want to get in foul trouble, but that was far too easy. That would have been her second, which is why she had to be a little bit more lax.
Back-to-back hoops for Holy Family, and they restore their largest lead of 8. Ducharme thinks about the 3. Whitmore to the hoop. This is another one. That looked like she was pressing just a little bit.
And you won't see it on her face because she always has that game face on, but you can tell even through that she's just not feeling right now.
No, buries a 3, and it's a 7-0 run for Holy Family, and they have their largest lead of the game, up by 11. And C. White needs a timeout. Holy Family took that first punch from Bentley after they established a lead, and they punched right back to go up by 11. We'll be back in just a moment. We're watching the NCAA tournament on Flow Sports. Family fans in attendance enjoying what they're seeing so far with their team on top by 11. They are shooting 58% from the floor so far, 11 of 19.
For about the last 3-4 minutes of that first quarter, Bentley's defense ramped up. But for the other 10 minutes of this game, frankly, it's been soft. It's been too soft. They're stepping into threes. They're getting one-on-one looks in the post. It's been all too easy for a Holy Family team that's already feeling it.
Obart dumps it in the post for Ducharme. Makes the catch and scores with the left.
We were talking, Steve, in the break. Kylie Ducharme, we know what she's done in the first 2 games. But Bentley cannot ask her to score 25 again. She might still be able to do it, but that's not fair to her. Maggie Whitmore's got to get something going. Morgan, Cabanta's been doing what she can do. Can Yeomans hit a 3? Can Obar hit a 3? It's got to be a team effort.
Shot clock at 5. No, gets a step in the lane, flips it up. A little bit too strong, and there's Ducharme with the rebound. Morgan left side. This time it's Whitmore posting. All rotates back out to Obar. Ducharme in the post against Prevost. Gets her up. Jump hook rolls off the iron.
Just look at the difference in the post looks between these 2 teams. It just feels so much harder.
Pelangio inside against Whitmore. Can't finish it, stays with it. Second chance won't go. And loose ball foul against the Tigers.
But you can tell, we know that Whitmore is struggling on the offensive end, but she is very tentative on the defensive end, trying not to pick up that second foul. And Holy Family is recognizing it, and they're going right into the post. And if they're not going into the post, Bentley's giving them too much slack on the perimeter, and they're just stepping into threes.
Speaking of second fouls, that was the second on Carolyn Prevost, and she takes a seat as a result. Hinkle back on the floor for the Tigers.
They showed a 2-3 zone, went back into a man.
Morgan maybe trying to get into the offense here, but down to 5 on the shot clock. Whitmore has to get the shot up in the air, pulls and fires, and finally sees one go through.
And the whole crowd goes ballistic. They know what that could mean. Basketball players are a streaky bunch. You hit one, and suddenly this roof could be coming down in the next couple minutes.
She's defending Hinkle here as Hinkle turns, pushes up a one-hander that won't go. That's off Ducharme out of bounds.
And look at it. She scores 1 bucket. And look how much more lively she looked on the defensive end. Suddenly, all right, let's do this. Pep in the step. We're right in this. 7-point game.
Not a coincidence.
Nope, not at all. Not at all.
Searfoss loops it into Pelangio, lost it, ball on the floor. Held ball will stay at Holy Family's end. More good energy for Bentley on the defensive end.
And it's a team. We talk about it being a team. Having Maggie Whitmore see that basket go in, it's going to liven up not just her, but this whole team is going to say, we've got a chance now. She's back. You don't know if she's back. She hit 1 shot, but that's what you tell yourself.
Hinkle off the mark mid-range. Here's Ducharme with the rebound. In full flight. To the hoop she goes. Lays it up and in. 6 in a row for the
feels like a regional championship. Just imagine if school was in session.
Still a pretty good turnout there, especially under the basket. Outside it goes to Searfoss, launches the three. Nope. And Morgan, the baseline rebound. Whitmore pulls up left elbow. Two in a row. And that was enough. That ignites an 8-0 Bentley run. And they're within three, the closest they've been since the early going.
And these fans are rocking out on the far end. I don't think I see Tim McCaffrey in the mosh pit yet.
Oh, give him time.
No under 5 media. So this was it. She either had to call a timeout or wait until halftime. A pretty good idea to stem the tide, still up by 3 with the basketball. A minor adjustment during the last media timeout when Bentley called it. Notice a little bit of ball pressure, trying to trap off it in the half court. Back to you guys.
Connor brings it over half court for the Tigers.
It's all about making it harder. Everything on this end of the floor has to be harder for Holy Family, and it has been.
Searfoss whiling away the time with the dribble. Inside it goes to Carter. Cross from Meredith, who takes the three and buries the three. A huge bucket for the Tigers.
I don't think that Ducharme was expecting the three-point launch. She was a little bit slow on the close, and that's a huge response. Second time out of the timeout. Holy Family calming things.
Battle for the rebound into the hands of Meredith. So Holy Family repelled a Bentley run in the first quarter, and now they're looking to do the same in the second quarter. A score and a stop. Same spot for Meredith, same result, back-to-back threes for Kara Meredith, and just like that, it's back to a 9-point Tiger lead.
Score, stop, score. That's all it takes in this sport. It's not even about 5-minute segments or quarters. It's those trios of possessions.
Whitmore in tight gets two.
She might not miss for the rest of the night.
But the energy that was popped very quickly by Meredith making those two threes.
It only takes one stop to get it back, though.
Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Pelangio, great position inside, sends it back out. Searfoss turns down the three. Pelangio launches for three and hits it! The bench mob coming through again for Holy Family.
6 of 10 from 3. They haven't missed all tournament.
Kapansu wheels baseline. Whitmore just about hangs on to it. What a fabulous response by the Tigers. Kapansu mid-range, nope. And Hinkle wins the battle for the rebounds. When we talk about key sequences in games, we might be looking back on this later on. And really putting a big red star next to it.
As a team, they are 21 of 44 from 3 in the tournament. That's ridiculous.
And it's not just one or two players across the board. Here's Pelangio inside, gets away from Ducharme and scores again.
This was a 3-point game 2.5 minutes ago.
And this is Holy Family's largest lead of the game. Morgan for three. Nope. Tigers can't quite hold for a final shot, but they can come awfully close.
And you take this down as far as you need to go. They've started to get the looks they've wanted again. And we talk about positionless defense. Well, Ducharme and Whitmore have not wanted to guard that far out, and their posts are hitting threes in their face.
Searfoss tries a three. Searfoss hits a three, and the Tigers are smoking hot. Bentley looks to get one final shot off. Whitmore pulls up left elbow and rattles it home. That'll do it for the half. But the momentum, the energy, and the lead belong to the number 3 seed, the Holy Family Tigers.
We talk about two teams that are great defensively. The offense has been cooking.
Now let's see what Bernadette Lockitis has to say with Tim McCaffrey.
Timeout of the century. There's coaches watching right now going, how do you get 4 threes after a timeout? Talk about what you said in that
Call for different things, different options. We saw those options. We talked through it. We knew when the doubles were coming. Once we communicate and talk, only good things can happen.
14-4 run to close out the quarter. What's the message to your group coming out into the second half?
It's all about handling runs right now, but we know we've felt this all year long. Third quarter has always been a very big quarter for us to know that we need to come out, punch first, keep punching kind of mentality, make sure that we don't lose that momentum from the first half.
Way to dial it up in that first half. We'll see you in the second.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
What a timeout. You talk about the timeout of the century. Refocus a group in front of a hostile environment. That is it. Bern Lakaitis. What a job she did in the first half. Back to you guys.
Holy Family may just be halfway toward their first regional title. Bentley will have something to say about it, but they trailed by 12 at the break, 38-26.
Oh, the hard part is that they were getting beaten inside. Then Holy Family's going to go right back into the post. So a lot of questions that need to have answers in this second half for C. White. It looked like they had found a little bit of something in the first quarter, couldn't sustain it, thought they had found something, do something different. You could be looking at the Tigers' first ever regional championship in just about 45 minutes from now.
We'll take a dive into the first half numbers and get ready for the second half of this regional final when we come back. But for now, we'll step away and take a break. You're watching the NCAA tournaments on Flow Sports.
Ready to make an impact on the world? At Holy Family University, our renowned faculty will help you realize your dreams. With nearly 40 majors and 625 courses in business, the arts, nursing, and education, the possibilities are endless. And with amazing internships at Fortune 500 companies, we've got you covered. At Holy Family University, we aren't just preparing you for your first job, we're preparing you for life. Learn more at holyfamily.edu/visit. Holy Family University.
Balance. It isn't just essential in your sport. It's essential in life, especially college life. It's everything you need to thrive in school, in sport, and everything in between. The key is just finding a place where you can pursue it all. Because the real beauty lies in the balance. If you want to win in every arena of college life, go D2. Make it yours.
NCAA athletes don't just compete, they make history. Representing our nation with pride and excellence, they bring home the hardware. Our college campuses serve as training grounds for the next generation of stars. Catch tomorrow's Olympians and Paralympians on the NCAA Championship stage today.
Good business. Two words that don't always go together, except at one place where they've lived in harmony for over a century, Bentley University. Here, we believe good business is making a profit and having a purpose. It's using artificial intelligence with human intelligence. It's being a force in the classroom and a force in the world. and it's building generational wealth and making an impact for generations to come. Bentley University. It's just good business.
Being a Northeast 10 student athlete is about a lot of things. It's about having an impact on the field, in the classroom, and in our communities. It's about leading the way and setting the standard across Division II. Finding our balance.
Amazing, come on!
It's about embracing self-discovery, leading. Being a Northeast 10 student athlete is about embracing you.
On campuses nationwide, pursue their biggest dreams. We're launching new initiatives to help them. Life-changing education opportunities are just the start. The NCAA is providing enhanced mental health services. We're guaranteeing scholarships and tuition and expanding access to healthcare. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more.
That's a timeout on betting. It completely changed the game, and you didn't even notice. Let me break it down for you. Betting ads are applying full court pressure and getting you to play the game. Many of you are falling for it and losing big money. Addiction is happening in some more than others. Now players are getting harassed by bettors. And we all know that's not how the game is won. So it's on us to be good teammates and draw the line to stay ahead of betting consequences.
Ready to make an impact on the world? At Holy Family University, our renowned faculty will help you realize your dreams. With nearly 40 majors and 625 courses in business, the arts, nursing, and education, the possibilities are endless. And with amazing internships at Fortune 500 companies, we've got you covered. At Holy Family University, we aren't just preparing you for your first job, we're preparing you for life. Learn more at holyfamily.edu/visit. Holy Family University.
It starts from the moment you enter the court. We're there to serve, make sure we're creating a fair atmosphere for both teams, upholding the integrity of the game.
I chose to be an official when I was a senior in high school, 17 years old. I think it's the best decision I've made. You could play, and you could make extra money on the weekends on the side, and why not?
In life, things aren't scripted. Games aren't pre-scripted. You know, I got into officiating because my father was an official. Officiating was part of our family life. It wasn't just the game.
Get to be outside, get to like experience the game. It's so much more fun. You can get a lot out of it.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and young athletes who can translate those skills to officiating.
So much of officiating is not necessarily what...
If it wasn't for those difficulties, I don't think I would be where I'm at, because it helped me become not only a better official, but a better person.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
And it's just been wonderful.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for. The opportunities are here. Are you ready?
A Bentley University education starts with business, but doesn't stop there. You'll learn to think differently, to push boundaries and change the world for the better, to make a positive impact in everything you do. Bentley University, a force for business, a force for good.
Welcome back inside the Dana Center. We are at halftime of this Division II East Regional Championship game with 3-seed Holy Family in control right now, 38-26. Not only trying to become the first Holy Family regional champion, they're trying to become the first regional champion in women's basketball from the Central Atlantic Collegiate Conference. But let's see what the top-ranked Falcons have in store in the second half. Let's see what C. White has to say with Tim McCaffrey.
Behind the 8 ball going into halftime.
Yeah, they're shooting lights out. You know, we cut it to 3 and all of a sudden 2 3 balls and, you know, all of a sudden, boom, it was back to 12. So we got to be able to keep the action in front of us, which is one of our keys, but at the same time, we got to guard and defend the three-point shot better.
You're one of the best defensive teams in the country, 4th in the nation, fewest points per game. What's the secret to chipping away at that deficit in the second half?
Yeah, it's all about getting stops. You know, we got to change their momentum. We got to get some stops so we can get our offense going.
Good luck.
Thank you.
C. White, she's got a lot of tricks up her sleeves with 4 straight Northeast 10 tournament championships. We'll see if she's got another in the final 20 minutes here in Waltham. Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Tim. As we take a look at the first half stats, the things that jump out very obviously are shooting, 3-point percentage, rebounding, and bench points. The pieces that have taken Holy Family to this regional final, and they have ridden that to a 12-point halftime lead.
Well, obviously the 3-point field goal stands out. 6 of 10 versus 1 of 10. Holy Family for the tournament is 22 of 45 from 3, which is one shy of 50% if you do the math on that. That's ridiculous. And like you said, Steve, it's not just one player. The entire team is shooting lights out, plus 12 on the boards. They're assisting. They have a couple of turnovers, but they're getting back in transition. And the bench points, which is how they beat Damon. They're beating Bentley in the same way, 16-5. It was Holy Family basketball. You go back to the to say, we need to get back to playing Holy Family basketball. Since that moment, the end of the first quarter against Damon, they have played Holy Family basketball, and they're wiping the floor, first with the Wildcats and so far the Falcons.
Taylor Hinkle got Holy Family off to a strong start. Maggie Whitmore, after such a tough shooting day, has come to life here in the first half. Both key players for their teams, and both actually had good first halves when you look at it in its entirety.
Yeah, Whitmore got going in that second quarter, hitting 4 for 4 in the quarter, but it's not going to be about offense in this second half. It's going to start on the defensive end, as C. White said. We have to keep them in front. We have to defend the three-point arc better. You're going to learn a lot about how this second half is going to go in the first 2 to 3 minutes. Does Bentley look desperate? Do they start to take shots that, with 20 minutes to go, you don't need to play desperate. You don't need to take shots that are outside of your rhythm. If they do that and Holy Family can start the second half like they finished the first, you could be looking at a 16, 18, 20-point game by the media timeout, and then things look really dire. If Bentley can just stay calm, stay poised, and play their game, now you're looking at a 6, 8-point game around the media timeout, and that's a huge difference. You do have the crowd behind your offensive basket now, so maybe the students can lift the players out on the floor. This place got rocking for a minute.
Yeah.
But a great timeout of the century call, as Tim McCaffrey said, from Bernadette Lakaitis, and they never looked back.
There were only 2 foul shots taken in the first half, and that's largely because there were only 7 fouls called. 2 Holy Family players have 2 fouls each, Carolyn Cravo and Jessica Reapy. But the officials let the physical play go. It was a well-officiated first half, and that's really all you can ask. It was consistent, and they allowed physical play enough so that players knew they had to play through it.
And you'd never know that Holy Family had 2 players with foul troubles, because the bench players went in there and nothing changed.
That's just turnover number 2 for Bentley in this game. Errant pass from Obar for Whitmore.
Never want to turn the ball over those 7 seconds into a half. You usually draw something up in the halftime, and it immediately goes awry.
Both teams have their original starters on the floor. Carter Sierfas, Hinkle, Reapy, and Prevo for Holy Family. Yeomans Kabantu, Whitmore, Ducharme, and Obar for Bentley. Here's Sirfoss. Now Repeat. Her three is deflected by Obar into the hands of Hinkle, who can't finish. Ducharme with the rebound. Tries to go all the way. Reverse layup for two. Fifth rebound for Kylie Ducharme, and she now leads Bentley with 9 points. And the Falcons with full court pressure here after the make.
Well, there's no doubt that she is playing with supreme confidence, and it's just so refreshing. You don't see a lot of D2.
Sirfoss weaves. Looks baseline. Repeat didn't make the cut. Hinkle launches a three, and the Red Hot Tigers from deep continue.
It's so difficult because, as I said, Bentley will defend out there with their posts, but it's still not comfortable.
Ducharme goes to the left and finishes at the rim.
So you have to be ready to essentially overplay, as that's a nice step in. We'll stay with the Tigers, but good play by Kabantu. You have to now start to overplay on the threes. And you have to be confident that you're going to have a teammate there as a help defender if you have to go for a pump fake. But the Tigers are just too confident right now from three. You have to start to overcommit and almost give up an occasional two to defend the three. Look how far out she's going to have to play this.
Hinkle has it knocked away, but into the hands of Sirfoss. Yeomans holds her ground. Sirfoss, though, backs it down, forces it up. Nope. Battle for the rebound inside. Sirfoss, oh, a clever pass to Hinkle, who banks it in.
Sirfoss, just a Swiss Army knife for this squad.
Whitmore in traffic, fadeaway is short, and Hinkle clears the glass.
I don't mind that just because she hit her last four. She's still feeling it a little bit.
Hinkle, left side of the lane, on the move, banks another one home. 16 for Hinkle, and Holy Family has their largest lead of the game.
I have no idea how that went in. Had zero arc on it.
Yeomans baseline, gets the friendly bounce, her first two of the game.
One rim gave the forgiving bounce because the other one somehow gave a forgiving bounce as well.
Hinkle is now 6 for 10 from the field.
The basketball gods can be cruel, but they are cruelly fair usually.
Took that 7 for 11, and Ducharme called for a reach on Prado.
But that's the overplay. Ducharme is trying to overplay on the potential three. Probably the lightest amount of contact we've seen, but she knew it.
Bernadette Lockhart going to the bench. If anything, means an improvement. Although Hinkle, who's been sensational, comes off the floor for a breather.
She's breathing hard, and deservedly so. She has been unreal.
There's Amy No. Tries to turn the corner on Yeomans. Carter is one of their best three-point shooters. Hasn't scored in this game. She does have 3 assists, however. At some point, you expect her to bury a three, but nobody's looking. Kabantu picks up Bentley's second foul.
And this is what's so hard. Because of your need to overcommit a little bit, you're going to be called for those hand checks, maybe fighting over a screen, because you know you just cannot give them any space.
Prevost works on Ducharme, who gives ground, blocks the shot. Prevost stays with it. Pelangio, wild shot, battle on the floor, and Ducharme's elbow hit the end line, and it will be Holy Family ball.
This is a great call by the official, but this is just so unlucky. So close, but right there.
That's a tough landing for both of those players. Happy that nobody hyperextended a shoulder there. That could easily have happened.
So this is going to be an important stretch for Bentley. Ducharme comes out, Norman comes in. How long does Ducharme sit, and what can Sierra Norman do? Came in, hit an immediate shot.
Sarah Meredith with a couple of first half threes. Lost her balance, but the ball goes right to No. 4 on the shot clock. Meredith has to get it up in the air. Tries to send it back to No, but they won't get it off. The Falcons get the stop they need. And here comes Nia Morgan in the game for Bentley.
So even though Ducharme's on the bench, with Hinkle out, can Bentley make a little bit of a push with Whitmore and Morgan likely your two go-to scorers. Kabantu's been good getting to the rim. You need to make up a little ground here.
Zone for Holy Family on this Bentley possession.
Which usually you can shoot around if you move the ball.
Morgan trying to clear some space. Now Yeomans turns down the shot. Whitmore in the corner. Kabantu has to take it. And makes it.
Extra passing against a zone will always lead to an open three. And then it's the question of, can you knock it down?
And Yeomans comes up with the steal on no. 2-on-1 across the lane from Morgan.
That's the triple. Score, stop, score. Talked about it on Saturday, talked about it tonight. I know a player who didn't know what that was called. His coach called it a trio. He didn't know what it was, so he called it a turkey. How many turkeys on St. Patrick's Day can Bentley get in this second half?
7 in a row for the Falcons. Searfoss at the scores table, and Norman knocks it away.
You had to take it.
I did, I had to. 12 on the shot clock for the Tigers.
Oh, no, you're not in the shot, though. No one will ever know. I'll know.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Searfoss looks for an option, finds Carter. Now, every time Bentley has made a run, Holy Family has answered in spades. Searfoss too strong on the three. Oh, ricochets out to Norman. He takes it across half court. Morgan out to Whitmore. Good look for three. In and out. Kept alive by Kabantu, and Bentley will get a second chance. Tigers able to reset on defense as Bentley pulls it out. Whitmore works on Pelangio to the hoop, misses the drive. Kabantu again on the glass. Shot clock dwindling. Yeomans for three. Nope. It's Sierra Norman with the rebound. Another chance for Bentley. And this time Yeomans buries the three. And Bernadette Lockheitis has no option. She takes a timeout. 10 in a row for the Falcons.
You didn't think this would be easy, did you? Nah.
Well, shot after shot after shot for Bentley on that sequence. Finally ends up with Yeomans making the three. And Bentley has momentum. This is maybe the third time they've had this kind of momentum. What happens after the timeout? The magician of timeouts, Bernadette Lockheitis, has a chance to figure something out here and just settle her team down.
Oh, the first thing that she's going to do is put Hinkle back in the game. Because it's the first time we've really seen, first of all, Sierra Norman, huge rebound. Yeomans gets a second look and cans it. But it's the first time we've really seen a massive drop-off. You take a risk giving Hinkle a breather, and it looked like she needed it. But she comes out, the offense dips, the interior defense and rebounding dips, and just like that, it's a 5-point game.
Tim McCaffrey, join us, please. What have you got?
Hello. You know, the last time these two teams played on the campus center in Northeast Philadelphia, it was the Tigers who led by 8 at the end of 3 quarters. Holy Family knows what it takes to get ahead of this team, but remember, Holy Family could not hold the lead in the 4th quarter. Inside the Tiger huddle, Bernadette Lockheitis was quite honest with her teammates. She said, this is their run. Now, let's make it ours. Will they? Back to you guys.
Well, Kylie Ducharme is back in the game for Bentley.
So is Hinkle.
And so is Taylor Hinkle for the Tigers. And here's Searfoss.
And they get Whitmore a little break.
And the Falcons get a turnover. Ducharme from Morgan, 12 in a row for Bentley.
And Bentley's getting turnovers in a couple of different ways. We've seen the shot clock violation in this run. Now we see the pressure up front, forcing a cough up. And an open layup in transition.
It's been about a 4-minute drought here for the Tigers. Here's Hinkle, who stopped every run so far. This one comes up short, but the ball comes right back to her. Goes baseline. Carter makes a nice catch, and Searfoss bounces it off her foot into the hands of Ducharme.
Watch the crossover.
Inside for Kabantu, reverse, the layup is good, and Bentley is within a point.
They're the number 3 team in the country for a reason. And it's because they're unflummoxed and they know how to win. They have not blown out every team on this schedule. Far from it. They have played a lot of close games, but they've only lost once all year because they just know how to win in the second half.
1 point after a drought of about 5 minutes.
But you can't let one basket deter your run if you're Bentley. You keep pushing back to the zone, ball movement, see if you can find the open look.
It's Whitmore on the bench getting a breather now. There's Norman in traffic, goes to the left and coaxes it home. Second hoop of the day for Sierra Norman.
Just such a gift to have her back. Means you have that extra front court depth. You can bring on Eli for a stretch, but Norman is just such a huge asset.
Searfoss, good look inside, misses it, ball tipped away. Collected by Pelangio, short corner. This time it's Holy Family's turn for a second chance. Under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Here's Carter. Quick double by Yeomans, and a nice closeout on Searfoss. 5 on the shot clock. Looks for some help. Meredith.
Nope.
Wild shot, misses everything, and the Falcons get a shot clock violation.
The shot clock violations are mounting. The stops on press are one thing, but when you get shot clock violation after shot clock violation, you feel that much extra energy. Everybody knows where they need to go. Look at that switch by Yeomans and Norman, or Yeomans and I can't even speak. My goodness. Morgan.
It was good defense, that's
it
for
was.
Sure. As we take a look at some of the Bentley fans here, remember the winner of this game will represent the East Region at the Elite Eight next Monday in Pittsburgh. This is one of 8 regional championship games going on across the country. 7 of the 8 1 seeds survived. The only one that did not was Edinburgh in the Atlantic region. But it's tough to get to the Elite Eight. It's tough to win a regional. Doesn't matter what your seed is. It's tough to win 3 games in 4 days.
It is so difficult, and every region has its own unique quirks. And for these 2 teams, Bentley, of course, if they Holy Family is, of course, they're going to want to do well, but ultimately getting there is the big thing for them at this point because they've never been there.
Tim McCaffrey, what have you got for us?
Well, not much now because we got to get Al off the floor. But I think these fans are starting to get in it. Flex is starting to get in it. They're getting super excited here in Waltham. Back to you guys.
Tim, I think we did you a favor by not going to you earlier. You might have been lost for good. Well, Bentley
in the nest.
Bentley brings it up floor, chance to take the lead, which they've held for a grand total of 21 seconds tonight.
That much, huh?
It was early. Easy to forget. Whitmore is back on the floor for Bentley. It's Duchamp getting a breather. Norman inside, powers her way up off the glass. No. And a nice rebound by Lauren Pelangio.
Big minutes for Pelangio in this third quarter.
7 points, 5 rebounds. 6 rebounds for her. There's Lola Ibarondo in the game. First appearance in the second half. Hinkle posting on Morgan, who jumps over the top and pokes it away.
That was a force and great defense to read it.
Yeomans into the lane. Now out for Morgan. Final minute of the third quarter. Bentley trailed by 15 with about 7.5 minutes left in this period. Kabantu to the cup. Reverse layup, too much on it. Ball bounces out to the perimeter, and Jessica Reapy picks it up.
That darn padding, because Norman had it, and then it kicked over her hands because it hit the protective padding underneath the rim.
There's Carter, defended nicely by Yeomans. It's Sierra Norman with the rebound. And Bentley can just about hold for a final shot. We've still only had 2 free throws in this entire game. Just 2 fouls called in this third quarter.
Incredibly disciplined teams, outstandingly officiated. There is no doubt that as long as the game continues to be called this way and played this way, the players are going to decide the outcome, which is all you want.
Morgan beat the shot clock at the end of the first half. Can she do it here? Straight on 3 off the iron. That brings us to the end of the third quarter. Holy Family led by 15. Bentley's almost come all the way back. We've got ourselves a 1-point game after 3 quarters. Don't miss the 4th. We'll be right back with it. You're watching the NCAA tournament on Flow Sports. White talking tactics with her team, but sometimes it just comes down to getting out and playing and not the nuances. Both teams want it. You know they both want it. It's a matter of who can execute in those key moments.
And it's only fitting that it is a 1-point game heading to the 4th. It's going to come down to the players out there, and it's probably going to come down to 1 or 2 players, really. Of course, it's a team effort, but it's the 4th quarter of a regional championship to go to Pittsburgh in the Elite Eight to represent your school, to represent your conference and your region. Somebody is going to see their name go up in lights. Who's it going to be?
Tigers with the first possession of the 4th quarter. Prado inside, across the lane, makes the catch and lays it in.
Really nice pass by Aberondo to
Ducharme, but that's a loose ball foul on Kylie Ducharme, her 2nd of the game. Holy Family has doubled up Bentley on the glass, by the way, 32-16. That's a way to make up for a +9 in turnovers for Bentley. 11-2 is the turnover count.
But despite the 9 offensive rebounds, they only have 2 second chance points. That could cost the Tigers at the end of it all.
There's Hinkle. Hard push in the lane. Tries to pass it across the lane. It looked like she had an opportunity to go to the rim and turns it over. Not sure exactly why she turned that down.
Ducharme wants it. She's got the mismatch. Oh, good play by Aberondo.
Good timing on part of Aberondo to knock it away. Holy Family has responded every time Bentley has come up with a run. There's Prevost. Puts it to the deck on Ducharme. Pump fake. Oh, a little too strong on the shot, though. Ducharme with her 6th rebound. Morgan for 3 in the tie. Too much on it. Repeat picks up the loose ball.
It's so hard. You've mounted this huge comeback, and there's a wall, which is the tie or taking the lead. And so many teams make the massive comeback, but can't get over that last hump.
Aberondo in the paint against Yeomans. Flips it up, flips it in. First move of the game for Lola Aberondo.
Credit to her. She's only played 6 minutes in the game, and here she is in the 4th quarter making buckets, making stops.
Yeomans, nice bounce feed for Whitmore. Her reverse layup halfway down and pops out. The Holy Family has come out in this 4th quarter. They've controlled the tempo. Bentley looks like they're going a little bit too quickly for their own good. Prevost. Again, working against Ducharme. A screen by Yeomans. Out to Aberondo for 3. Buries another one. Oh boy, here come the Tigers again with another fabulous response to a Bentley run.
And it's another bench player making an impact. Holy Family wins. Aberondo is not our player of the game, but she may have 2 of the biggest plays in this game.
Now Bentley's got to fight from 7 points behind again. Whitmore gets 2 back here on the pull-up.
7 minutes is a long time.
Yeomans picks up her 2nd foul. The 2nd on the Falcons.
I do wonder if a team has ever won a regional title without shooting a free throw, period, in a title game. Can't imagine, but...
that would be hard to figure. Schiffos and Aberondo on the floor at the same time. Prevost. play Alvarado as a scorer as well as a creator. Gets in the lane and gets knocked over. They call it travel. Oh, there's some contact, but travel is the call. Let's see it.
Yeah, she just steps on Morgan's foot. Incidental contact, a little bit unlucky. It would have been unlucky either way because it's either a really tough foul or a travel. Either way, it's not really fair, but that's the game.
Whitmore high post, right corner. Cabantu, good look for three. Got it. Second long ball of the game for Cabantu. She's got 14. And Bentley has responded with 5 in a row.
Holy Family got sucked into the center and wasn't really respecting Cabantu. She's not your typical three-point shooter. Only 30 on the season coming in, but you got to respect her today.
Repeat posting on Cabantu.
She even hit one after the buzzer at the end of the last quarter. She's feeling it from deep right now.
Sear Foss dribbles into a double team, misses the fourth shot. Here comes Yeomans up court. From Morgan to the cup, lays it up, lays it in. From all the way back to tie it.
But Morgan's a little ginger to get up. 5 on 4 for the moment.
Ducharme nearly jumps the passing lane. And a foul on Cabantu on the entry pass to Prevost. It's a good one because that was an easy layup if the ball got through.
It's the little hook that they get her for. Here's the gorgeous run to the 10. There's contact with the legs, but it's not as if Hinkle does anything really to impede that. But Morgan is wind knocked out of her for the moment. So Sierra Norman back in.
The Holy Family's 6-0 run has been usurped by Bentley's 7-0 run. There's Ivarondo.
It's only our second tie.
Prevost works against Norman and she travels. Turnover number 13 for Holy Family. And now Bentley has an opportunity to take their first lead since there were 28 seconds elapsed in this game. Norman for Yeomans. Top of the key, Ducharme inside. Norman with the left. Take the lead.
What a play by Ducharme. She wanted to take that three and made a smarter pass. She might not have 25 today, but that is a really smart basketball decision.
It's been a long time since the Tigers have been behind. Here's Hinkle trying to pick up steam. Tosses it up and tosses it in. Another big bucket from Hinkle. Calm as you like.
Yeah, you can't defend that. She takes it on an off step, so you're not ready as a defender to go up and block that shot.
Yeomans baseline pushes up a shot that comes up empty.
Norman went down and then landed on her head.
Hinkle can't finish.
Prevost hurt because she landed on Norman, leg into head. Everyone's flying everywhere.
Breathless out there at the moment. Everybody just trying to gather themselves. Here's Ducharme. And now Obar. Approaching the 4-minute mark. Cabantu goes baseline on Ivarondo. Spins, flips it out. Flips it in. 16 for Amanda Cabantu.
Just such a patient play. Uses the hesitation to get to the rack, but then stops. Pivots on the reverse to get Ivarondo off balance and lays it in with the finger roll.
This is what you want a regional championship game to be. Norman called for the reach over.
That's 4 on the team. 4-0 in fouls. Bentley has as many fouls in this fourth quarter as they had in the first 3 combined.
3.5 minutes to go. Holy Family, by the way, has not been called for a foul in this
second
quarter.
Half. They didn't get called for one in the third either.
Indeed, correct. Well, timeout on the floor. We'll take it with the teams. Falcons lead by a pair. Back in a minute. You're watching the NCAA tournament on Flo Sports. Falcons on top by 2. Let's take a look at how they got there. Meanwhile, let's hear from Tim McCaffrey.
You know, behind the Bentley huddle, C. White telling her group, keep them in front of you. Whatever it takes, make them shoot jump shots as opposed to letting them get to the basket. But one thing with both of these coaches, gentlemen, is how calm they are. Inside must be like a hamster going crazy on the wheel, but outside, a picture of calm. Back to you guys.
Inbound goes to jumper, and it's Duchamp with their 8th rebound. Bentley's been out-rebounded by 16, but they forced 14 turnovers while committing just 3. And now something we haven't said all day, Bentley has the lead and the basketball. Morgan finds some space past Carter.
Halftime, Steve. Could Bentley just continue to play Bentley basketball? And it started in the third quarter, and when it looked like Holy Family might be able to keep them from going over the hump, they just kept pushing, and now they have a 2-possession lead. Offensive rebounds, but 2 second chance points. That ratio could be the difference for me. Get all those rebounds, but you don't cash in off them.
Bentley on a 13-2 run. That's off the leg of Yeoman's out of bounds. So after conceding 38 first half points, Bentley has given up just 17 in the second. Basically a point a minute.
And having Sierra Norman back in this game has also been a huge difference for Bentley.
Carter, corner 3. Nope. Hinkle with a weak side rebound. Her 6th board of the game. Meredith tries the 3. Nope. Long rebound to the sideline. Morgan just tries to usher it up, but what a save by Meredith. Tigers have it back. Sirfos, the lane opens up, bumped by Norman, and she'll take Holy Family's first free throws of the game.
What?
Wild sequence.
I understand you want the ball to go out of bounds. It's really tough to tell. But one of the things my coach always said, if the ball is there, grab it.
Yeah, that's it. You know for sure you're going to get it.
Yep.
All right, so Sirfos has a couple of free throws here with her team down 4, 2.5 to go.
There's so many comps for it. You think the guy's going to step out of bounds, so you don't lay the hit, and he tiptoes up for an extra 5 yards. You got to make the play at the end.
Sirfos connects on both free throws. Cuts the Falcon lead in half.
That's a huge 4-point swing, potentially.
There have been some magnificent regional finals in this building. This might go alongside any of them. Kickball resets the shot clock at 20.
We'll see if Coach C. White continues to try and play offense, defense. She's liked Whitmore out there for the offense and Norman for the defense and rebounding.
Norman's got 6 points and 4 rebounds.
But her value to this game has been so much more than that.
That's in just 13 minutes of play, too. Morgan steps out for 3. Top three-point shooter in the country drills it. A dozen from Nia Morgan.
And now for Bentley, you continue to play the defense. Don't give up a cheap foul. Sending them to the line. Play straight up. You force how many shot clock violations in this second half?
62-57 was the exact final score the first time these two teams met this season. Meredith for 3. Morgan with the rebound in traffic.
And when's the last time that Hinkle's really gotten a touch outside of that offensive rebound? They've done a masterful job forcing other players to beat them. And if I'm Holy Family, I'm getting at least one more. You've got 2 more fouls to give. I'm starting to use them now. You be overly aggressive. You reach, you get a little handsy, you try and force a turnover, and if you get called for a foul, you get called for a foul. But you have 2 to give. Be aggressive.
For Bentley followers, this comeback gives you memories of the national championship game against West Texas when Bentley was down by 9 points in the fourth quarter and rallied to win. Yeomans to the basket. Oh, what a finish by Cassidy Yeomans. And Bentley has a 7-point lead. A timeout called by Holy Family. And with 68 seconds left, They're in some serious hot water right now.
At halftime of this game, the score was 38-26. Since halftime, 38 points for the Falcons. And it's just 19 for Holy Family. And it's not that Bentley did anything really different. The shots just started to fall, but the defensive end, they've guarded the three. They've spread everything that they needed to. They played without fouling. And every single player, there's not going to be a lot of depth scoring in this game because it's still the bench points for Bentley, 18 of them. But Norman has been humongous for this Falcons squad. With her 6 points, those are the only bench points. But everybody else has done what they needed to do.
This is an 18-4 run over more than 6 minutes. And Duchamp, with a free safety, kicks the ball out of the air.
Well, if things hold, you know who your player of the region is. And how could it not be?
That's about as easy a choice as we've had in years, with all due respect. Hinkle has been magnificent. She's certainly an all-tournament choice. With the way Duchamp has played for 3 games here, it's been special. Whitmore burns a timeout as opposed to trying to force a pass in there. And with a minute 2 to go, the Falcons will go to the bench. But possession much more critical than trying to squeeze a pass in there. Now Bentley's on top by 3 possessions here. And when you start doing the math, Holy Family will absolutely have to start sending Bentley to the free throw line. Remember, the Falcons have turned it over just 3 times. 5-to-1 ratio is exceptional.
And even going back to the semifinal, mentioned it, they only turned the ball over 6 times against the Hawks. They did not play their best basketball, but they did not, and they do not, shoot themselves in the foot. When it comes down to it, they win all these close games because if they're going to lose, it's not going to be because they committed self-inflicted errors. You just have to beat them, and nobody really does. Adelphi did, but it's been a long time since.
And Bentley learned from that game. Adelphi controlled that game tempo-wise all the way. But Bentley has faced that the rest of the season, and they've more than matched teams that have tried to do that from here on in. Inbound goes to Ducharme. That's going to send Bentley to the free throw line as we enter the final minute. Again, the second time Bentley played Adelphi, the Falcons won convincingly. Playing teams like St. Anselm and New Haven that do try to control the tempo and pace as well. Bentley's faced those challenges, and they've overcome them each time.
And you knew whoever came out on top of this was going to be a deserved champion. It hasn't been easy for the Falcons. The first 2 games, they had their ups and downs. Even the win against New Haven, they were sluggish on the offensive end in the first half, came alive in the fourth quarter in particular to make that one look a lot less competitive than it was. And in the semifinal, St. Anselm gave them their best shot. For the 3rd time, the Hawks gave them their best shot. But ultimately, to go right back to the top of the broadcast, and Tim McCaffrey, in order to be the best, you have to beat the best. The best is still on top.
Duchamp connects on both free throws. Bentley leads by 9. So Holy Family's 3-point shooting, which was so fantastic in the first half. Remember, at halftime, they were 6 of 10 from long distance. They've made a grand total of 1-3 in the second half.
And it's not even how many that they've made. It's the fact that they haven't been able to get them up. They're only 1 of 7. But after taking 10 threes, they really got out on the perimeter. They committed a couple reach-in fouls, but that adjustment that they were able to make to be aggressive and know that if you pick up a foul, it doesn't hurt you, but it puts Holy Family a little bit back on their heels, and they just have not been able to counter that with the inside game. Hinkle's been much quieter in the second 20 minutes. She still has 18, 12, and 2, so she's still going to have an all-tournament team type of game, but we talk about the depth. Bentley didn't necessarily have a lot of depth in terms of pure numbers, but having Sierra Norman back and the 5 starters today did outplay Holy Family starters. And barring a huge comeback, the Falcons are finally going to get back to the top of the East region for the first time in 9 years.
Repeat step back three, got fouled by
Oh my
Obar.
goodness. You can't even give the official a chance to make that call if you're Brooke Obar.
Let's take a look again. Obar, yep.
Rakes her across the arms. If she makes that step back three, you live with it. But you can't put that on the table.
So Jessica Repeat has a chance for 3 free throws here with the clock stopped. She doesn't take many free throws, 9 of 12 this season. But she's an outstanding 3-point shooter. Connects on the first. And 2. This will make it a 2-possession game, and she does. Exactly what the doctor ordered for Holy Family. Stop the clock, score 3 points. And Falcons call a timeout to move the ball to half court.
And just after I talk about Bentley not shooting themselves in the foot, that is the ultimate shoot yourself in the foot. Fouling a 3-point shooter on a step-back 3. It almost went down, so it almost was a 4-point play. And now it's all about getting the ball inbounds. Holy Family did do a good job of getting rid of their fouls to give, so it's going to be free throws.
But they just have not been able to turn Bentley over in this game. That's the maturity and experience of this Bentley team. Multiple players here, 4 or 5 years. They've been through a lot.
Well, other than Nia Morgan, who's a sophomore, every other player that plays significant minutes, junior, senior, or graduate student.
And Yeomans is fouled by Carter.
It is fitting that amidst all that, it is the sophomore Morgan who hit some humongous shots in this fourth quarter. And along with Ducharme, is on my pick for, if Bentley holds on for this one, to join her on an all-tournament team. She had a little bit of a slow start, but in this final game, Nia Morgan, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a couple big shots in the fourth quarter.
Make sure to stick with us after the game's over, everybody. We'll have the award ceremonies, the all-tournament team. Hopefully we'll have a chance to speak to the winning coach and the most outstanding player. We'll see some nets getting cut down, I'm thinking. Yeomans buries both free throws. All 9 of her points have come in the second half. She's quietly had another outstanding game. 6 assists, 3 steals, and no turnovers. She hasn't had a turnover in this entire regional tournament.
There's so many things that go into a championship.
Repeat, catch and shoot 3 from the corner, hits it, and it's a 5-point
Of course
game.
it is.
She's the one player that you just can't leave open. She's got a great catch and release.
You didn't think it'd be easy, did you?
Nope, not at all. And so the Falcons call a timeout again to move the ball to half court.
But it really is. There's so many things beyond just the scoreboard that matter in situations where that matter.
Let's see what Tim McCaffrey has for us. Tim.
Now doing some research. How about this statistic for you? Bentley currently with 3 turnovers. That's the fewest since the team had 3 turnovers against Holy Family on New Year's Day 2017, when they also had 3 turnovers in that game right here on this very floor. Back to you guys.
I guess that means cue the 4th turnover.
I would also like to say Tim McCaffrey is his own stat man. Look, this is an incredible group that we've put together here from BTV, but at the end of the day, there's not some dedicated person looking up the stats. Nope, Tim McCaffrey looks great, does his own research.
The dude's grinding.
And now we got to trust that he's right.
We're in a regional final and he's doing that. It's Obar's duty to put it in bounds into the back court. And Whitmore does corral it. Carter and Ibarrondo lurking. It's Ibarrondo who's called for the foul.
Boy, they are playing with fire, the Falcons. That was a risky pass into the backcourt. And you see Ibarrondo, 2 hands up by the face. Bentley fans not pleased that this is not getting a second look. Whitmore, she's got that same game face on no matter what. She doesn't care about the flagrant. She knows if she does her business, it's back to a 3-possession game.
And despite that 0 for 10 shooting from the field in the regional semi, she was 4-4 at the foul line down the stretch. And you talked about, Mason, I don't care what your percentage is, can you make them in these situations?
Yep.
Both Yeomans and Whitmore have done that.
Veteran leadership. At the end of the day, the players that you want at the line, it's usually your seniors or your graduate students in this case.
Whitmore from a basketball family in Maine. Anybody who's from Maine knows the name Whitmore. Rick Whitmore, the former Colby men's basketball coach for many, many years. 7-point Falcon lead, 30 seconds to go. Holy Family needs points, and they need them now. Meredith, a pretty good look for 3. Short, Morgan with the rebounds, and she gets fouled with 20 and a half left.
Can't start the party yet, but you're pretty darn close. And again, this time it's Whitmore. Does a great job of getting the ball out of Hinkle's hands. And it's not to Reapy, so you don't get that 3-point shooter the basketball, but you force it out of the hot hand of Hinkle, and now you can taste it.
And Morgan now 0 for 2 at the free throw line. It's hard to win a regional your first time there. For Holy Family, it's been a long time, and this is their first trip. Assumption did it 2 years ago. Of course, they had their home floor to help, but generally, the first visit is a taster. It's something to get you accustomed to playing this intensity and this level of play. Holy Family has a large chunk of this roster coming back.
Yep. Hinkle plays like a senior, but she's just a junior. So too Searfoss and Carter, 2 of the other starters. Reapy's a senior, Prevo's a senior.
Searfoss misses the 3, Whitmore with the rebounds, and Meredith gives the foul with 5.4 to go. And I think now is the time for the party to start for the Bentley Falcons.
Is that a smile on the face of Maggie Whitmore?
I think it is.
It's more of a smile of relief. The celebration will come. Right now, it's relief.
And for Bentley, their history is so voluminous. It can be hard to be in the shadow of it.
Well, 100%. Look, we are only about 100 miles or so from the greatest women's basketball dynasty in history. And just like these Bentley Falcons, UConn since 2016 has not gotten over the hump. That weighs on you. It weighs on the seniors. There are a lot of comparisons between Whitmore and Paige Beckers and what these 2 women have done for their schools. Whitmore has gotten her team there. And now you party.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 East Regional Champion, the Bentley Falcons. Score, Mason, doesn't really tell the tale of how close this game was. Keep in mind, Holy Family led by 15, 2.5 minutes into the second half. They led by 7 with 7.5 minutes to go, but they just couldn't hold off a Bentley team that simply was not going to lose this game.
And Holy Family, this is tough. But like you said, Steve, you remember these moments, you come back stronger. There is no doubt that Holy Family, if everything holds, everyone stays healthy, there's a lot of uncertainty, but if everything goes the way that they hope it does, would not be surprised to see this recur next year. Holy Family be right in the same spot, and maybe it goes differently. But tonight belongs to the Bentley Falcons. This season in the East region has belonged to the Bentley Falcons. And they are as deserving a champion as any we have seen. And Holy Family would have been just as deserving. But that's basketball. That is sport. Someone's got to come out on top. And it feels For one side, amazing. You can't describe it. On the other side, it's heartbreak for now, but it steals you for potentially next year's run. You never know.
Full credit to Holy Family. They end the season at 26-7 and with a bright, bright future ahead. Bentley, meanwhile, 33-1. Booking their flight to Pittsburgh for the Elite Eight next Monday. We'll find out tomorrow where they'll be seated in the Elite Eight, who they'll play. But right now, it's an outpouring of emotion for Bentley players, staff, and fans. As after a long climb over the last few years, they finally get it done, and they finally...
Just what it means to these players, these coaches. There's Ann McInerney,
who won 2 regional championships as a Merrimack head coach. Both times the Warriors went to the Final Four.
It takes a village. It starts from the athletic director all the way down.
That's Christiana McColas in the blue blazer. She, of course, was the point guard of the 2014 national championship team. C. White, an assistant coach on that team, and an understandably dejected Holy Family team.
Look, Holy Family, I know it doesn't feel like this now. Holy Family are champions. They won the CACC. They got to this point. It doesn't, you don't realize that in the moment, but you are still champions, and there is going to be, as much as the village it took for Bentley, it takes just as much for Holy Family.
Let's turn it over to PA announcer Jefferson Mills for the post-game ceremonies.
Region Championship. First, let's congratulate both teams on their outstanding achievements and thank our host, Bentley University, for their partnership, commitment, and success in hosting this regional championship. And now we present the 2025 NCAA Division II Women's Basketball East Region All-Tournament team. From St. Anselm, forward Melanie Hoyt. From Holy Family, junior forward Taylor Hinkle. From Bentley University, junior Cassidy Yeomans. From Bentley University, senior guard Amanda Cabantu. From the Bentley Falcons, senior forward Kylie Duchamp. And the 2025 Most Outstanding Player, as voted by members of the media, is from Bentley University, senior forward Kylie Duchamp. Fans, let's hear it for your 2025 East Regional All-Tournament team.
When we get a look at the all-tournament team, Kylie Duchamp, unsurprisingly, the most outstanding player.
It's the easiest choice ever. Didn't even get my ballot in. Doesn't matter. I knew who I had at the top, and I think everybody else did too. Mel Hoyt from St. Anselm also joining Cassidy Yeomans and Amanda Cabantu from the regional champs.
And Taylor Hinkle as well from Holy Family.
Yep.
And for the 15th time in program history, the Bentley Falcons own a regional championship trophy. One of their longest droughts since they started winning them in 1988. But that drought is over. Maggie Whitmore holds it high.
And to tell you how special this Bentley team is, I think most people would come into this and assume if Bentley wins the regional championship, Maggie Whitmore is the most outstanding player. At worst, she is on the all-tournament team. 3 players made it. It wasn't Maggie Whitmore. It was Ducharme. It was Yeomans. It was Kabantu. But it didn't matter because this team is a team. And Maggie Whitmore will celebrate this with her team with that trophy. She does not care a hoot that she was not on that all-tournament team. That trophy that she holds is all that matters. And her teammates picked her up. She had her moments in this game. But this is not just her moment or Ducharme's moment. This is a moment for Bentley University. It's been a long time coming. And to feel this way again as a Falcon, whether it's as a parent, as a member of the staff, as a coach, or as a player, these moments come maybe once in a lifetime. It's such a joy to see.
Kabantu led Bentley in scoring with 16. Ducharme had 15 points and 8 rebounds. 13 points for Nia Morgan. 9 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 rebounds, and no turnovers for Cassidy Yeomans, who didn't commit a single turnover in about 100 minutes of play this weekend. Meanwhile, for Holy Family, Taylor Hinkle, 18 points and 13 rebounds. Tim McCaffrey, have some fun with C. White.
Coach, in the mid-90s, you committed to Barb Stevens and came to then Bentley College as a player. You've won regionals as a player. You've won regionals as an assistant coach. And for the 15th time in Bentley University history, the nets are cut down. What are you feeling?
I'm overwhelmed with love, support, and emotion. That tradition that you're talking about, that winningest tradition and that culture, started well before I got here. And the hugest shout out goes to our alums that have paved the way for these guys to play the right way and to follow in those guys' footsteps.
The Bentley way is on the defensive side of the ball, but today only 3 turnovers. That's the fewest back to New Year's Day on 2017, actually on this floor against Holy Family when you also had 3 turnovers. Talk about how well you handled the rock.
They're mature and they're poised, and you got seasoned vets, and they understand that every possession matters, and you have to value the basketball. So for the past 2 games, we weren't turning the ball over, which is just, a disciplined team.
You've always said we have to play Bentley basketball. You did that in the second half to the tune of a 40-19 run to take control. How much of that was aided by these fans, the packed house, the students supporting the Bentley Falcons women's basketball team?
We would not have won this game, and we would not have come back from that deficit without these fans. Our support starts from the top down. Our president is at every home game and into our administration, and it trickles down into all of our coaches and all of our teams. We've got an unbelievable community here, and the support is wild. And we have to thank our fans more than anything because they're the reason for that comeback.
Congratulations. Cut down the nets and enjoy Pittsburgh. You're going to the Elite Eight. It's well deserved.
Let's go. Let's Falcon go.
Let's send it back over to you guys. I'll have Kylie Ducharme in a moment.
Oh, we're going to get another Kylie Ducharme interview, Mason. We've had 2 beauties. I can't wait to hear what this one's like.
Look, if she continues to elevate her interview game from game 1 to game 2 to game 3, my goodness, we are going to be out of a job because she was a little bit awkward. She didn't really know what she was doing on Friday. Saturday was a pro. Today she's a champion. So, look, it's about the kids. C. White knows it. It's not about her. She'll celebrate in her own way, but it's about her family. It's about her team, which is her family. It's about this school that is her family. Bentley University, for 2 people, you and I have been around it, you longer than I have. You know just what a special place this is, and it's such a special night, and these players deserve it because they earned it.
I mean, I guess from a personal perspective, I am blessed and honored to be here on a regular basis and have been for a while. It's a program, and the men's program is the same way. They care about each other. It's a family. They think bigger than just basketball, but when they're thinking basketball, they're completely dialed in. And it's not just Bentley. Holy Family is the same way. That's a great program in Philadelphia. But today's Bentley's day. I think we have Tim once again.
I am with Kylie Ducharme and her family. Yesterday, you told me you had never had 0 turnovers in your life. Yeah. I found out that this is the 7th game today that you had 0 turnovers, but the first time in back-to-back games. You're cutting down the nets. First off, congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So what was the secret on the defensive boards? You were the instigator, 8 defensive rebounds, and igniting what was another Bentley victory in this region.
Yeah, I think my teammates were boxing out, and I was just the one grabbing them.
So you're going to Pittsburgh for the Elite Eight. This is a long time coming, Kylie, for this program. You've been here through it all. What does it mean to finally get over that hump and cut down those nets?
I mean, it means everything. We dropped the ball the last 3 years since I've been here. We hosted last year. We didn't do what we wanted to do, so we finally got to do it. So we're just excited. We'll enjoy it today and tonight and tomorrow, but then it's on to the next thing.
There was one great coach here before C. White and another great coach here now. How important was it for you to give Coach C. White her first regional championship?
I mean, excited. I started with her. She was only ever my coach. I didn't have Coach Stevens, but we want to continue Coach Stevens' legacy, and obviously she's the perfect person to do it.
So a regional tradition is the most outstanding player gets the last word. You get to look at that camera and say hello, and I know a lot of your friends and family are here, but you get to cement this memory forever in time. The floor is yours.
Woohoo!
That is the shortest thank you of all time. Steve Mason.
I didn't know I was saying thank you. Thank you to everybody.
Yes, just everybody gets a thank you. Back to you guys, Stephen Mason.
I can't really say anything else, Mason. What are your final thoughts on not just today, but the whole regional?
First and foremost, I'll say I miss college. Oh my goodness, just the sheer unbridled joy of what college basketball can bring. Kylie Ducharme, unbelievable. And we saw Barb Stevens getting the trophy, being led by some former players and players that she didn't get a chance to coach, but look, her fingerprints, footprints, every type of prints you can have are all over this program and what it stands for. It's just amazing to watch it happen, and for Kylie Ducharme, a deserved moment. And look, it's not done. That's the beauty of all of this. There's celebrations, you cut down the nets, you celebrate, you party all Monday night, happy St. Patrick's Day, and then you get back to work because there's an Elite Eight to go to. And there's a potential banner that could live right alongside that one up on the right-hand side with 2014, that undefeated season. And if you do that and you take care of business, I'd put up a plaque that says they were doing the boxing out, I was just grabbing them. Kylie Ducharme, thank you, everyone.
Well, speaking of great teams, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the great, amazing, wonderful team we have here that put all the work in to bring you a fantastic weekend of broadcasts. Let me just run through the names, and they may be names to you, but they're friends to us. Jeff Fowler, John Luck, Al Lacerda, Mike Moriello, Paul Holmes, Ara Galenyan, Jonathan Rodriguez, Zach Sylvia, Scott Olson, Dominic Damiano, Hannah Pacini, Mike Simmons, Shannon Simmons, Joel Reisner, Julian Osorio. It's been our pleasure and our joy to work with you. Thank you all very much. Let's do it again next year. For the entire crew at the Dana Center, our sideline reporter Tim McCaffrey, and my broadcast partner Mason Stelf, I'm Steven Zerdelian. As we watch the nets being cut down, it's the Bentley Falcons who take home the 2025 East Regional Championship with a thrilling 72-63 win over Holy Family. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Thanks so much for being with us. Good night, and see you in Pittsburgh.